Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Morning.
Hello.
Fine. Hi.
Super.
Hey. Well, um, I'm George Ward from Hortitool, Portugal. I'm here to talk about today seventh episode of the Berry Talks, episode that we from 2023. This is our first conversations with the leading global players, where we can meet how personalities, companies, and technologies can evolve from all over the world in a world of the berries. So, Thomas, how is everything?
Yes, hello everybody. Nice to see you again and have these nice conversations together. I'm fine, thanks. Back from Berlin, very excited about the new opportunities we have developed together. I think it's been a great show for all the Barry people. What do you think, Shyam?
Hello. Nice to meet you again. It was really a big fair in Berlin. It was very interesting. Nice to see you again. Hi, Hans. Hello. Thanks for joining us and accepting our invitation. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience and say something more about yourself and your role in the company?
Like most of us also just survived Berlin, más o menos, they say in Spain. And what I learned is getting a lot of friends means you are most probably getting older. So I was raised in an agriculture family and studied business economics, commercial engineer when I was young. So I was always doubting between agriculture and business. But yeah, I started 25 years ago working in sales and marketing functions in different multinationals. And after 25 years, I decided to follow a friend to the factory. Where I started as director, sales, Europe, Africa, and Middle East. So via this step, I learned to know a lot of growers in this area, as well as all genetics, because in Europe, Africa, you grow all type of genetics, low chill, high chill, mid chill, zero chill. So this was quite unique. And then when Sekoya got shape, I discussed this with my colleague that I'm Holger, on how to move on with the new genetics Sekoya. And both of us expressed a couple of years ago, it might be time to put some marketing power behind Sekoya. And we both came quickly to the conclusion that the job was a little bit designed for me, given my background.
Excellent. Sekoya is considered a global company that started lately in the 2017. Can you tell us more about also Fall Creek was becoming a global company in the 90s. Can you tell us more about the start of Fall Creek and also the creation of Sekoya?
Right, it's in fact a nice story. If you read the story about Fall Creek born in 1978, out of two hippies who wanted to create a world with better blueberries. I hope Dave Brazel don't forgive me that I say this, but they really were two hippies who wanted to make a world with better blueberries. And they strongly believed also at that time already that blueberries had really a lot of health benefits. So they started with the limited means they had in the very beginning, funding and supporting health research. So today we have a lot of profit of their work these days. So Dave and Barb Brazelton were really visionaries. And then, yeah, indeed, like I stated, 2017, the Sekoya subdivision was founded. It's a business-to-business platform designed to facilitate retailers in building stronger value chains by offering a consistent high-quality product. And mainly we focus on direct sales. So we believe direct sales from growers to the supermarkets is crucial. And we want to do this via a reliable network of growers marketeer. Another important word there is whole year round. I think that's a crucial thing. So Initially, the goal was to work with a number of members, and today we know that the number of members will be 15 to cover the global market. So you say with Sekoya, we want to supply 3 consumer markets. You have US, Canada, you have Europe, and you have China as really crucial consumer markets. And all these markets we want to supply with a consistent quality, 52 weeks in a competitive way.
Interesting.
Okay, thank you for the nice introduction. We have now a segment from our colleague Thomas about the market in the very market in Europe. We're gonna ask him to explain what's going on, and we're gonna start now.
Yes, the recent weeks on the European market have been quite challenging from various points of view for the berry industry. Starting from blueberries, we have seen a decrease of the availability of Chilean fruit arriving to the markets. This has been caused by some problems in the weather conditions in Chile. Chile should be actually the main source in this part of the season from January to March. Traditionally, the European market has been supplied with Chilean fruit on a regular and broad basis. This year, already from the end of January, we started seeing some issues with the condition of the fruit and after that with the actual availability. And this has been caused by, yes, as I said before, by the weather. There has been some hot weather, there has been some rain, and therefore we have seen that the Chilean season is basically going to an end much earlier than in a normal situation. Usually we should see fruit till the end of March, while this year already in February the availability has been decreased. It's not easy to support all the promotions which were planned in advance by the supermarkets because there is really a shortage of fruit. Also with Morocco and Spain being late again to the weather conditions. So we are seeing quite a tough market with low availability, quality being so and so, and a lot of pressure from the supermarkets to have their promotion going. Very often also there were programs for the large formats, grams for example, which is actually not really working with the current quality we are experiencing from Chile. So some issues not easy to be tackled. Similar situation also with raspberries. Basically, at the moment, there is a shortage in all major regions, and there is fruit from Morocco, from Spain, even by air from Mexico. In Italy, we are still some local, but overall, the situation is quite short. On blackberries, the main source at the moment is Mexico, as usual in this time of the season. So a period of in this period usually we see good promotions, but we are facing some issues on all major lines on blueberries. That's all from the markets.
Thank you very much from all this perspective. We already felt from our stay in Berlin, talking with colleagues, that the market is a little complex due to climate and also what's everything going on in the world. Thank you for that market trends. Let's go back again to our guest, Hans. What is the reality of the business of blueberries and at the moment from your point of view, and how other marketing models become a must to drive consumption of such of a fruit?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question, and I want to come back or to on Thomas. Other things which we have seen last week in Berlin as well is that there is becoming more and more qualitative fruit on the market as well, and I think that's a promising thing. So I think that might be interesting to mention as well. I was talking last week in Berlin a lot with supermarkets, and they all say berries and blueberries are today extremely important for them. In some cases, some supermarkets, blueberries and berries are already number one in value. So that's serious. And I remember an older presentation of Thomas where he talked about segmentation in blueberries. But the reality today is in most of the countries, blueberries still is a commodity-driven business. So this is a huge opportunity and also a risk. If you stick to commodity, it's a risk. If you do something with it, it's an opportunity. And if you look to other categories, I like the example of tomatoes. Tomatoes. A couple of years ago, you could buy a tomato and a tomato. But today, if you look to the tomato category, how many SKUs they have, they really implemented perfect and brilliant category management with clever positioned SKUs adapted really to consumer needs, which are often created consumer needs, but the market develops really steadily. What was for me a little bit surprising to see that even categories like carrots in the Netherlands or potatoes have a better category management developed because they are all categories, of course. Although they are much smaller in value, they have a better developed category management. So we really believe there is space and opportunity to do the same with blueberries. And of course, it always starts with a commodity, um, uh, like everywhere. But who wants today still do his dishes? Is washing the hair with his wife, car, the dog, with the same shampoo or detergent. I believe the Unilevers of these roles they invented category management and they did really a great job by defining and creating answers on consumer needs. So just to be sure, my grandparents, they washed everything with sunlight soap, and today we have a shampoo for everything, and we think it has to be like that. Although I'm not sure that my grandparents washed the dog with sunlight. That's not true. So I truly believe the category is sizable enough, is big enough, has the potential to expand the category management.
Yeah,
Great, great,
exactly.
great.
You started talking already about branding, I think, Hans. So beside the genetics that is the driven force of Sekoya, you started the work about branding in this field. Can you talk a little bit about this Levy brand? Levy?
I love the questions, Jan. In fact, we came to the idea of Livy because different supermarkets asked for it. That's the truth. So they told me, give us a tool to grow the category, driven by consistent quality. You have to know that today supermarkets have the potential to grow their category between 11 and 20% just by offering consistent quality. As we know, unsatisfied customers stop buying between 6 and 10 weeks. So if you transform that, it's 10 to 20% of their sales volume. So that's massive. If you can grow a category by just offering consistent quality. So Livy will bring an answer on that and an answer to the consumer. The consumer will recognize the logo. So it will be consistent quality on taste, firmness, and size. So just to make it clear, all Livy berries will be Sekoya. Not all Sekoya berries will become Livy. So, and as Sekoya is in general a disruptive business model, we wanted as a brand to be disruptive as well. So um, we were looking to successful brands in the world, and we have chosen to be not really a brand, but an ingredient brand, like Intel Inside. That means you are not a main brand, but you are a kind of quality stamp next to the main brand. Um, who can carry the brand? Only two groups of users. Group one are the 14 Sekoya members. They can use the stamp. And group two are supermarkets, and that's disruptive. So if you have a supermarket private label brand, you can say, hey, I want to be sure I have consistent quality. You can apply for the Livy brand, and we guarantee that the supermarket brand who carries our logo gets consistent quality on all these parameters. On top, we agreed is if we do this or a supermarket go for it, we will create pull as well, market pull. So we will go into contact with the consumers, and we want to do it mainly again via new marketing techniques, not a very traditional ones, but social media, influencers, etc. Yeah, that way we want to grow the category as well for that supermarket who applies to the brand.
Interesting. I think that we are talking more about brands and marketing than blueberries, which I find an interesting approach, in particular for our people who listen to this conversation. So let's keep talking about a brand. We know that the goal of all marketers is to increase penetration, so to have more households buying blueberries in a period of time, but also to increase the per capita consumption. How does branding help in doing that? And what makes Sekoya unique in terms of a strategy, in terms in particular of the branding? Let's forget about the blueberries now. Let's concentrate on the brand and what the brand can guarantee and give as a performance.
All right. Two things. So, first of all, why do people buy a Mars bar or a Twix? Because it's healthy? I don't think so. Because the only reason is because you're never disappointed. You don't have a summer Twix and a winter Twix. You always see what you get and know what you get. That's branding. And it's also for fruit. Never be disappointed. Just what you want is what you get. And I think on top, via a brand, it makes it easier to explain and talk about new consumer moments. So if you can explain to a consumer where and how to consume the health benefits, that's pretty easy via branding. Coming back on my Twix and Mars bars, did you know that the snacking category is 4 times bigger than the breakfast category? And the fact that we know that 90% of the blueberries in Europe are still eaten as breakfast, yeah, this makes that we create a huge opportunity with the Livy fruit, because the Livy fruit has all attributes for a healthy snack. Long shelf life, 45 days, extremely firmness, big snack size. So you can easily create a new SKU for a new market, which is category management, by adapting your packaging format and maybe your position in the supermarkets. If you put the snacking blueberries next to the snacking tomatoes and the snacking carrots, you create a snacking category, which can lead to a high and interesting new consumption. Yeah, and I think that's a breakthrough. So a brand will give trust and secure the repurchase. I think the second, if I understood it well, Thomas, the second question you asked, what makes Sekoya unique?
Yes. What makes it unique, in particular within the fresh produce category?
Yes. I believe Sekoya is disruptive on all levels, and one of the most important one is our business model. As the Fall Creek main goal is selling plants and not earn money with licensing. So this means we work with a low licensing fee. Next to that, we encourage, let's say, direct sales. This means that the value chain is a lean value chain with attractive margins, but also attractive consumer pricing, if desired. So I think that's already really disruptive and completely different on existing models. On top, having access to the best genetics via Fall Creek. Today, Sekoya has really a program which can offer to grow plants everywhere, and that's also unique because with Sekoya, we have mid-chill, high-chill, low-chill, zero-chill. That means you can nearly grow in all places on the planet blueberries, where all other programs mainly focus only on northern high bush or southern high bush. That means they can all only fulfill, let's say, 70, 80% of a year gap. Of course, they will come close to each other, but there will be also, like you stated earlier with chili, you have a weak season, and I can tell you, if you have a weak season, weak qualities, consumers stop buying 6 weeks. That's killing. With Sekoya, we have so much options. We grow in 30 countries. Their overlap is so big because we have high chill, mid chill, low chill. So we will create such a swiftly network that we can guarantee 52 weeks very soon, consistent quality. And I think that's really new in this world and will give a lot of opportunities in a high quality range. And last but not least, also supermarkets are not locked in. We are not one supplier. Behind Sekoya, there are 13 members who are competitors members. So a supermarket can choose in January between 13 members producing maybe in 10 different countries. So you have a lot of opportunities to choose from. And I think this is very compelling to a supermarket to play with.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Just in a sequence of this talk, this also brings to the growers and that access to the Sekoya varieties to achieve not only better genetics but also high premium prices, right? So this is also to create a difference between what is standard and what is out of standard. In this case, premium prices.
Yeah, I think that's the way how it started, because it are premium prices. But if I see the volume, what we are generating, and the benefits these varieties give to growers, it will become the new standard. It will not stay very long premium, but it will become mass premium, the new standard. And I explain you why. If your berries are double the size, your picking cost will not be higher. If your yield is higher than average, you have also advantages. So it is also for growers an attractive model in planting. So Fall Creek does not launch a variety which goes below 20 ton per hectare high bush. In Europe, the average yield is today less than 9 ton per hectare. If these varieties do not reach 35 ton per hectare in Peru, then it's considered as a bad variety. So it's not only the side towards the consumer, but also the genetics are really developed to make also the grower happy and to create a healthy industry as well for grower as for supermarkets.
Okay.
Yes, I think we have covered some interesting points in this conversation. I think that 2023 will be very interesting for us to see what is really happening on the market, because so far I think we have only scratched the surface of Sekoya, both in terms of the growing, but mainly in terms of the marketing. I'm very curious to see what will happen over the next months in this challenging market. I think that the main concept which is interesting for both the marketers, the retailers, and the consumer is to have something consistent 52 weeks per year. This hasn't really happened so far. From that point of view, the blueberry industry has been a bit disappointing, I would honestly admit. And so consistent quality every day of the year would be, I think, great. And many consumers are disappointed by what they buy, and then they don't buy for a number of weeks, which is terrible. I think that the concept of category management, which at the moment is still very weak, apart from some countries. I am in Europe, but basically it's the UK who's leading the way, but in other countries it's still very weak. For example, from my experience in Italy, It's still basically an unsegmented market. There are no segments. There is just some 5% of premium. So there is big opportunities there. And I think that Sekoya can help grow in the category, and it will help also other projects to give much more opportunities, much more visibility, and much more business to be done for everybody. It's still a market which hasn't shown probably more than 1/3 of its potential all over Europe. So I think this is an important piece of a larger jigsaw, which I think, I hope will change. How can I say, the whole picture, which there is still a great potential to do out there.
Okay. Yeah. That's really interesting how you presented, Hans, as a disruptive model, because it is from what I understand, you try to change what is standard to another level. That's exactly what you're trying to do with Sekoya branding and also the genetics. What we call what is premium disappears because it does a new standard. That's from you what I understand. Is that correct?
I really love your summary. When I hear Thomas, when I hear you, I'm so happy you were listening very well. So no, and I think you're right. These are the three main key takeouts. I believe it's like Thomas stated, category management in most of the countries is a big opportunity. Sekoya want to help to create these categories by being different and new in these segments, looking to other industries. Yes, we want to be disruptive, and we want to create. If you want to change the world, you can do it incremental, and if the market exists, best case you will be number two. If you want to win, you have to choose another ball game and to come from another axe to make it happen. And I think that will be really crucial. So, and yeah, I think that's really important when you look to the market 360 degrees. And of course, we have the luxury that the backbone is a genetic company that makes my life easier to do what we believe is best for the market and the value chain.
Okay, thank you. I think we are in the end of our conversation. It's a small conversation, the first from the year. Thank you, Hans, for your time. I'm sure that you have a lot of things to do to develop your company and also the brand that you are pushing into the market and in our households and our consumers. Thank you for your time, Hans, and also Thomas. Thank you for your always broad perspective of the market. Siham, thank you for being here. Let's wrap up today and hope to see you in the next episode in March. Keep up tuned with us and take care. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Hans.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thanks, Jan. Thanks, Jorge. Thanks.